Hello, Dr. Te. This is my submission for the fourth milestone of data mining assignment. My name is Ammar Alyousfi. Uh, in the previous milestone, we analyzed the quantitative data. We have quantitative and the qualitative data. So in the previous week, we analyzed the quantitative data and we looked at the data and how the price of the company stock changes over time. And in this milestone, we will interpret our qualitative data, which is news and Twitter posts, and we will also analyze this qualitative data using sentiment analysis. So first, we import the necessary libraries like pandas, numpy, and matplotlib and regular expression. Then we will start with Twitter data. So we previously crawled the tweets from Twitter using this script where we connected to Twitter API and crawled tweets that contain company names and stored the results in a CSV file. Now we read this data here and we take a look at the data using the tail function. So the tweets is like we have in the tweets table, we have the company name and the tweet text that contain the company name, and also other information like how the likes of the tweet, how many likes, and the creation date of the tweet, the hashtags, the tweet ID on Twitter, the language of the tweet, and many other information. So now we will interpret the data to see if it's relevant or not. So we will take a sample of the we will take a sample from the tweets, 25 tweets, and we will look at them. We will bring them and look at them to see if we can use Twitter data, if it will be useful for us. So here are some examples of the tweets. So for example, for the company with this name, Digim, here is the tweet, just Digim name, so it doesn't carry any meaning. Also, if we look at another company whose name White Horse, here is the tweet. We see a white horse designed to enter, like it's talking about, it's not clear that it's talking about our company, White Horse. If we take another example, the MGB company, this is the tweet. If we open this URL to see what the tweet is talking about, we can see that it's talking about a car, not about MGB company, but maybe the car name is also MGB. And if we take another example, for example, public bank company, we see the tweet, the EIB is Europe's largest public bank. So clearly it's not, the tweet is not talking about the public bank Malaysian company. And we can find that a lot of tweets, even if they contain the company name, they might talk about another thing. So this makes the tweets not useful for us, because uh, we can't make sure that the tweet is talking about is talking about our company. So we will consider Twitter data irrelevant because of this. And now we will move to another type of qualitative data that we crawled, which is news data. We crawled the news data from the Edge Markets website, the Edge Markets. We crawled corporate news. Here are some examples of the news on in the website. And also uh, we crawled the data of the news data using a Python script also, where we crawled news articles that contain the name of any name of our KLCE companies, and we stored the results in a CSV file also. Here. So now we will read this news data here, and we will take a look at the data. First, we can see that we have more than 300,000 news in the table, because we crawled a lot of news articles. So let's take a look at the news table. We can see here that we have the company symbol and the company full name. Here is the headline of the news article. Here is the URL of the article, and here is the date time of the article, when the article was published. And here is the text of the article. Of course, it's not displayed completely here, but we have the complete text. And here in headline, this indicates if the company name is included in the headline of the news article. If the company name is in the headline, then here the value here will be yes. If the company name is in the text of the article, not in the headline, then we get no here. And here is full name. This variable indicates if the company name that we found in headline or in article text, if this name is the company symbol or the company full name. If it's the company full name, then we put here yes. If the name is the company symbol, then we put no. So here is the first few rows of the data, and then we interpret the data. As with tweets, we take a sample of the news data and we bring them to look at them. So here, if the company name is in the headline, we print the headline, the complete headline, like in this case. You can see here headline and the headline. On the other hand, if the company name is contained in the article text, not in the article headline, then we will print an excerpt of the article text. For example, here, this company, here is the company name, so we print 200 characters before the company name and 200 characters after the company name, so to get an idea of the of the context of the company name. So if we take a look, for example, this company, we can see here that said AM Bank research top buys are this company, Public Bank, RHB Bank. So clearly this article is talking about this company. And here, if we look at Bursa Malaysia company, the headline, Bursa Malaysia publicly reprimands Lei Hong, fines 8 directors 750,000 ringgit. So also this headline is really talking about our company. And we can look at another examples. For example, Telecom Malaysia. It's contained in the article body, not the headline. So we find it here. It's talking about many companies. Yes. For example, this company, UMW Holdings, the headline is UMW Holdings makes cash call for MBM takeover. So we can see that the news data can be really useful for us, because each news article is talking about the corresponding company, not like tweets where the tweet may be talking about something else. So now we will do sentiment analysis of the news data, because we need to analyze this news data and to get valuable data from the text. So we can analyze this data. We need to extract data from the text. To perform sentiment analysis, we will use a Python library, TextPlum. This is the library. This library is for processing text data, and it uses two other Python libraries, which are NLTK and Pattern, which are known in text analysis field. So this library, TextPlum, has two sentiment analysis and implementations. Pattern analyzer and naive bayes analyzer, which is based on LTK library. So we will try an example using both implementations. So here, if we have this sentence, the company is very good, for example, here we analyze the data, for example here, and then we print the sentiment, and also we get the sentiment using the other implementation, and we get these results. So the sentence is, the company is very good. Pattern analyzer says that the polarity is 0.9, which means very positive, because here the polarity ranges from -1 to 1. So 0.9 means very positive sentiment. And there is also a subjectivity, which measures the subjectivity of the sentence. Here the subjectivity is 0.78. And if we analyze the same sentence using naive bayes analyzer, Here we get probabilities. The probability of this sentence being positive is 0.59, and the probability of this sentence being negative is 0.4. So the classification of the sentiment is positive because it's larger. So we from now on we will use pattern analyzer because I think because it seems more accurate. So here we define some functions. This function get excerpt to perform what we did here. When the company name is contained in the text of the article, so we don't take all the article, which may be very long, but we take an excerpt of the text that contains the company name. So this function performs this task. And here also we define a function to get the sentiment using the pattern analyzer implementation, and another function to get the sentiment using this implementation. So here we add 3 columns to our table. This is the table we saw earlier, which contains the new data. Now we add 3 columns to this table. An excerpt column, which contains the excerpt in case the company name is in the text of the article, not in the headline. So in this example here, not in headline, so we get the excerpt, and so on. So sentiment 1 column contains the sentiment using pattern analyzer implementation, and sentiment 2 column contains the sentiment using naive bias classifier implementation, which we discussed earlier. After that, we decided that we just want the rows where the company name is in the headline. So we don't want the cases where the company name is in the text of the article. So we do so using this command. We only keep the rows where the in headline is yes. And if we take a look at the data, we store the results in the news headlines variable. So we take a look at this table. It's the same as the previous table, but now we just have rows where the company name is in the headline of the news article. So here we can see in headline column always yes. Okay. So now, after we analyzed the qualitative data and interpreted it, and now we can, and now let's see how many news articles are there for each company. So here we plot this histogram, which so here, for example, there is only one company with approximately 1,000 news articles, which is a large number of articles. Here we also can see that there are 3 companies with around 400 news articles, and here these companies around 200 news articles, but most companies have a limited number of news articles, between 0 and like 150. So so now first we define a function that plot the sentiment over time, how sentiment changes over time. We will use this function later. But what before we plot the sentiment of each company, we select only companies that have more than 200 news articles. So we select companies from here and beyond. We do so here. Now let's see these companies. We can see we have 10 companies with more than 200 news articles. CIMB, Genting, TM, Sunway. So these companies are, we can consider them more popular than other companies because they have more news articles. So now let's plot how the sentiment changes over time for example for the Sunway company. Here we can see how the sentiment changes over time. Here on this axis, the sentiment measure, as the value goes larger, the sentiment becomes more positive, and when the value becomes smaller, the sentiment becomes more negative. So here for the Sunway company, we can see how the company, we can like notice that the original sentiment, the baseline is 0, not positive or not negative. But sometimes we get a news article talking positively about the company, then we go back to the neutral state, then we get another news article that talks more positively about the company, then back to 0, then positive, and so on. And sometimes we get negative sentiment resulting from a news article talking negatively about the company. If we can take another example. If we plot the sentiment of Genting company, we can see here that the negative range is larger. Here the most negative value was approximately minus 0.2, but here the most negative value is -1, which is more negative. So we arrive at the end of this milestone. In next steps, we will combine the analysis of qualitative data and the quantitative data. We will combine the data together and analyze the combined data to get more accurate results and more useful predictions. And here these plots depend on the implementation of the library. So we can't say that these plots are definite. Thank you, Dr. Te, for watching the video.